Hey everybody, so nice to see that you're here so bright and early. My name is Petter, which is, like she said, like better but with a P. I'm from Sweden, hence the funny name. And I am a Swedish theater director, human rights activist, and artist. I run the biggest drag theater company in the Nordics, and it's called Bland Drakar och Drag Queens, which means amongst dragons and drag queens. And we do drag theater shows for kids, for adults, everything in between. And we've toured all over the Nordics for the last 8 years. So working with drag today is a very interesting phenomenon because drag is bigger than ever. And as you all know, I mean, these days drag is like super, super popular because of shows like RuPaul's Dragrace. Yet, we're also facing growing hostility. Drag has become a target for far-right extremism and hate groups and LGBT-phobic groupings who want to decrease our visibility. And drag has become a punch bag from a lot of ideological perspectives. So we're going to talk about drag as a form of political resistance, or resilience, if you like, in times of growing hostility. Bring on our legendary stars. Are you ready? Courtney Act. Bob the Drag Queen. Mrs. Kasha Davis. Peppermint.
Gorgeous.
I think right now we're seeing some contraction and some pushback. And I think that now more than ever is a time to celebrate and to be visible. I think quite often we get stuck in fighting, which is important. But sometimes you can get too stuck in the niche of fighting. And sometimes I think our best invention is storytelling. We're here and we're queer and we just want to celebrate and liberate people from the things that confine them.
Thank you.
Courtney, that wasn't one sentence. These foreigners coming in and taking our jobs. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I can't, whatever. Drag is a microcosm of the real world. So any problem you see in the real world, you're going to find it in drag too. So if there's going to be racism in the world, it's going to be racism in drag. There's going to be transphobia in the world, it's going to be transphobia in drag. There's going to be misogyny in the world, there's going to be misogyny in drag. Although even though the scale may change because drag tends to be a more liberal space, obviously. But you know, I think we're just following in the footsteps of gender benders who have been doing this and creating art for a very, very long time.
Those of us that use our art form and are creative, if you face adversity, if you have, if they outlaw drag, okay, fine. Like, eventually we're going to be risking getting arrested or whatever to do it, and y'all will be risking getting arrested by the tickets. You're going to show up.
I really kind of find it interesting with the historical perspective that you brought up as well, because what a lot of people don't know is that drag has been around for literally thousands of years. You know, we're talking the dawn of civilization, the ancient Greece, we had kabuki in Japan. It's an ancient art form, but obviously over the years it has evolved and grown, and it's become our community art form. It's our queer culture. And in today's political climate, where you see drag being attacked from different ideological perspectives, you see it being attacked from the far right, but you also hear other criticisms from other perspectives. And sometimes you hear a misconception that drag is kind of like sexualizing, it's a sexualized form of expression, or another one I hear is that it's a caricature of womanhood.
Well, I think that some drag is sexual, and there's nothing wrong with someone who creates a drag that is sexual. Some drag is a caricature of womanhood. I think that the notion that drag is inherently sexual is the same as saying, like, children shouldn't listen to music because I heard the song WAP.
It's an art form, like dance, like theater, like film. That's what many people are not necessarily realizing, as you're saying, is that it's an art form. And of course, there are certain things that would not be appropriate for children.
And you work with Drag Story Hour here, and you've written a children's book. And you obviously work a lot with your theater form of drag for kids. What's your perspective on this thing?
What can I do to impact people's lives, not just the children, but the parents so that maybe they won't go on the journey that I went on of self-hate. The parents that come up in tears, the dad saying, "Thank you for showing me that my child has a community." I mean, that's the most heartwarming thing. And the kids, they don't have any questions. I mean, clearly I am not fooling anyone. You know what I mean? The kids are like, "You're actually not a woman." And I'm like, "Surprise!" And then the high five. There was all these protesters, hateful signs. Listen, it was not about the drag. It was homophobia, it was transphobia, it was racism. That's what they'll throw the drag story hour part of it, but that's really what it was.
It always is.
It always is.
In Sweden right now, I'm in the middle of a landmark legal victory, actually, because we've prosecuted 100 people for hate crimes against our drag theater shows, against us as LGBT people, against our drag performers. And it's now going up into court cases where I'm having to testify, and it's really courtroom drama about drag. You see these really serious kind of judges sitting there debating, going, what is drag? So we're at a level in society now where, we're debating what drag is in courtrooms. Is it an identity? Is it an art form? And it is so complex because it is an art form, but it's so connected to our identity. So I want to hear your perspectives on that. What do you feel about that, Bob?
Your legal battles?
Yeah. Can you come and help me?
Really, it's so easy to spin a false narrative, right? So they'll take a picture of this drag queen who's doing drag brunch. And they're like, this is the queen, Shalita Biscuit, right? And they get a picture of Shalita Biscuit when she worked at, Dick Licker's nightclub 8 years ago.
I love that place.
Yeah, 8 years ago. And they'll be like, this is the same queen. It doesn't matter that it's different gigs, different days. No one cares that Chris Rock, who tells very dirty jokes, was in a Disney movie.
Do you think that we're not allowed the same kind of freedom as straight people to kind of be many different versions of ourselves?
I think it's also a tactic as well. Like, I think there's
very
a
true
systemic tactic where there's some people at the top who realize that they can create a divide, they can create a moral panic, and they can create hate and rally support for their cause against a marginalized group of people who at the moment is queer people, but specifically trans women. I think a lot of these people who have even medium to strong ideas against queer people are there because they don't understand who we are. They don't understand the conversation. Those ideas have been misrepresented and presented to them intentionally for this purpose.
Fascism depends on a binary. It depends on you are male or female,
right.
You are black or white. So anyone who goes outside of that box, it becomes a target. The easiest way into the whole gender behavior debate was drag.
Yeah.
And that's where
drag becomes a target for all those
drag becomes the catalyst for reaching the trans community and reaching bodily autonomy and reproductive rights. And drag becomes the conduit which they can access and get rid of all of our rights.
And what I find a lot of the rhetorics are like kind of, it's the same as they used to say about gay people or they say about trans people, but now they've directed it all at drag.
Everyone's not made to march in the streets. Everyone's not made to shout down politicians. And some people just want to live their fucking lives. So being a trans person, people are like, so you must be an activist, right? You're a drag queen, so you must be an activist, right? And some folks just want to go out there and do Beyonce songs.
Thank you, allies. Paint your nails, dads. You know what I mean? Be there for your kids.
Listen, I feel like this conversation is really great. I can't say about their numbers. This conversation is more important than my drag number. In my opinion.
Amen to that. What we need more conversations, and we need more expression, and we need more drag. Thank you so much for this wonderful
I tried.
You gotta do your number.